Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and it's an absolute honor to have my friend Mark Marrow back on the podcast. What is up?
Hey. Good to see you, man.
I almost lost my breath there for a second. No, dude, listen, it's an honor to see you. It was an honor to finally meet at Road Atlanta, but we'll get into all that here shortly. What's been going on, bro?
Well, since I saw you Road Atlanta, it's actually been kind of a Debbie Downer. On the drive home, I was like, oh, I got a little sore throat. And then Monday, I was like, oh, I might be coming down with a cold. And then Tuesday started getting worse. And Wednesday, I was like, honey, do we have any of those COVID tests? And I tested negative for COVID both 2 days in a row. But, man, it was worse than any COVID I had. I had COVID 3 times in the last 5 years, and this was worse. And then it started getting better on Friday. So, of course, I went into work. And then Sunday, I went to urgent care and found out I have pneumonia. So, yeah, that's going to happen a couple times. But otherwise, I'm in great spirits. Life is going good. You know, this one's not going to send me to the grave. So, we'll just keep on moving and thinking positive.
That's right.
Not a whole heck of a lot. The van and trailer are still in the driveway unpacked.
From Atlanta?
From Atlanta. That's how this week has gone.
It's been a slow week then.
It's been a slow week. I've taken many days off from work, and I've gone through a lot of Kleenex. There's been a lot of Kleenex and a lot of over-the-counter cold medications that don't really do anything.
Yeah.
But I'm on some serious antibiotics right now. My head's kind of, so, if I act weird or say something, we'll just, I mean, it's not like this is going to be for permanent posterity for the whole world to see. What can go wrong?
What can go wrong, right? That's the question. Everything. Oh, man. Well, listen, Mark, I hope you feel better, my friend. Nothing but sending y'all the love and the good vibes for sure. I just want to start off by saying again, man, it was an honor to finally meet. Man, I met you and Jacob McCall and so many other people that I have not had an opportunity to meet, and I finally did. It was a great weekend for sure.
I tell you what, from my point of view, riding around the pits at Road Atlanta, every time I saw you, you were like, oh, you were meeting people for the first time that you'd had podcasts with, and and it's part of this day and age that we do so much communication on these things with texts and Facebook and all other forms of social media and podcasts. And you get to where you know people, but people that you've never even shaken their hand, it's kind of wild. So it's like what you were doing. I've been there before. Like, I'm going to go. My goal this weekend is I've got a list of people that I'm Facebook friends that I've never met before. Like, I'm going to look this guy down, that guy up, that guy up, that guy. I'm just going to shake their hand and say hi, just so you get that face-to-face contact. I do think it's funny sometimes there's a flip side of that situation that can be, I don't want to call it awkward, but it's just a little weird. Like when you know people through social media or Facebook, but you don't really know who they are. And then they just walk right into your pits and just start talking to you. Like, and I'll be sitting there like,
who is this guy?
Who is he? He's talking. He knows things about me. Like, oh, did I share that on Facebook? Oh, don't you remember we changed messages 3 years ago about RD carburetors? I'm like, okay. So that's always kind of funny, but it looked like you were in high heaven of just meeting people and saying hi and pressing palms. And
yeah, man, it was absolutely amazing weekend. It always is when I show up to the races. That's one thing I love to do is when I have people on the podcast or meet them even before or after. To me, it's a full circle journey. Yeah. Right. And we're all family. Right. And we share obviously the same passion. So it's
Rossi looked like he was having a good time too. He always had a smile and he was always just zipping around on the scooter and the bike and everything. It was really good to see him.
Yeah. Rossi, he's definitely a character. People always ask me when he don't come to. That's the first thing they say. It's not, hey, it's nice to meet you or see you. where's Rossi at?
Where's Rossi?
Where's Rossi? Right, he's the popular one. So yeah, Rossi. His job when we show up on the weekends is I give him a bunch of stickers. And, have at it, go give him out, and he goes out and makes friends and laughs and giggles and gets Dr. Pepper and all that stuff while he's there at the races. And yeah, it's I stay fairly busy too. It's I like to have that face-to-face interaction and to have a genuine conversation with everybody. It means a lot to me, it really does. So all the love and support, again, I just want to say thank you to everybody, because without Mark and all of you guys and girls coming on here, I wouldn't be able to do this. So it's nothing but love to everybody out there. It's exciting. It's I enjoy it, man. I really do. So.
Yeah. And the Cycle Jam at Road Atlanta is always such a special event too. Really, it's really the second biggest event on the WERA schedule, not counting the GNF. And you get all regions coming. You get a lot of strength. You get used to racing against the same people in your own region. But the Cycle Jam and the GNF are unique because they have the people from the whole country show up. So it's always a higher attendance. It's always a lot more competition out on the track. And there's also always a lot of extra stuff going on in the pits. We had almost as much fun in the pits as we did out on the track this time. We had great cookouts with friends and sat around and told lies and stories and stuff, into the late hours of the evening. It was really just an epic event.
It really was. It is, and Rossi was like, and I told him, I said, look, the Cycle Jam race, this club race is different than Moto America weekend event, right? It's laid back. It's not pressure. It's everybody's relaxed and chill. And even said that he's like, the atmosphere is different, Daddy. I was like, it is. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It is. Yeah. 100%. So,
though compared to a regional club race, the Cycle Jam is a little higher stress than a weekend down at Roebling or a weekend up at, CMP or VIR or something, that those are slightly different too. But compared to Motor America though, Motor America is pretty serious. There's money on the line,
a lot of money.
Speaking of Road America this weekend, a lot of exciting stuff there.
It was absolutely a mega weekend of racing. Blake Davis, dude, big congratulations to Blake, man.
Both of those super sport races,
phenomenal.
Blake and PJ, and and Kayla was right. I mean, she was really right there in both of them. She really had she made up for the start. I mean, she had a good start on Saturday, but she had a great start on Sunday. But just kind of that, tracks like Road America and Daytona, it's a chess game, and sometimes you can play the best chess, but just you find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time, and if you lose the draft train, it's over. It's just game over pretty quick.
Yeah, it's
but speaking of wrong place at the wrong time, how about poor Ella Dreher? And she got pinched into that little
cup. She had nowhere to go.
She had nowhere to go. No, I mean, she just sack of potatoes right on the ground. I'm glad she got off really light as far as injuries go and everything. They got that bike restarted, but her shifter fell off. Been there.
Yeah, we've all been there. Had a shift of my hand, right?
Yeah. Hers was in fourth gear at least. My shifter fell off once when it was in second. Like, yeah, we're just going to withdraw from this one.
Right. Leg out. I'm coming in.
Yeah. I want to throw a shout out to Camille Conrad, too. She took that looked like a pretty hard. I haven't read anything about her progress, if she's okay or anything, because, I mean, I'm thankful to get the YouTube coverage, but it's not very deep, on YouTube. So they didn't really dwell on her condition. I hope she's okay, but that looked like a really nasty fall, and that's even on a beach on a Royal Enfield, that's still 120 miles per hour going into that turn, for maybe a little bit more. And did not look like a light fall. She went down hard.
She did. And so Kara Knibble, big shout out to first win of her at Road America. Wasn't her first win, it was her second win. And then big shout out to Miranda Kane for her win too, right? And then Kiara actually wrecked in the second race pretty bad too. It was a pretty nasty crash too. So Nothing but love and support. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of BTR, Build Train Race,
Same
Road
here.
Infield. It's absolutely an amazing program. So, yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
I would say my favorite in Moto America though is Super Sport, and it's because of Kayla and Blake, because they were terrorizing the Wira circle back in like 2017, 18 as 12 and 13-year-olds. So we all got anybody that raced Wira during those years, no one was safe.
Nobody.
The kids are coming.
It's awesome to see them, progress and be where they are, and then you
Yeah.
can be like, dude, I used to race her when she was, 14.
I've actually got the best Blake Davis story.
Let's hear it.
It's all about stories, right? It's all about stories. We're racing at Roebling Road, and combined classes, typical club race. There's like 3 or 4 different classes, and the Wonder Kids were on the first row with like I don't know what class it was, like GP, 125 or like the ultra lightweight GP or something. And I was gridded like 2 or 3 classes behind them running a vintage race, and I was the only person in my class. So all I had to do was just ride around, and it starts raining, and I'm like, don't worry about it, I'm just going to cruise around. I'm like halfway through the race, and I was like, wait a second, those damn kids are back there. They're going to lap me. And just in time, I look back coming out of 9, and I see both of them, and they're like 5 bike lengths behind me. I was like, oh, that was cool. And so instead of like swerving or pulling over or whatever, I stood up tall to give them a big old draft, and both of them go whoo by me, and they continued on their battle. I don't know who beat who that day, but later on in the day, I'm in the pits, and here comes Blake, and I think he was probably 12, maybe 12, 13, whatever, but his parents raised him very, very good. He's very polite. He was like, hey, mister, I just want to thank you for getting out of my way and giving me that great draft. He said, most of the grown-ups don't like it when I pass them. And we talked a little bit about 2-strokes because at the time, he had a 125 that had an 85 motor in it that he would race in a lot of little classes and everything. And he was like, oh, well, my 125 is old enough for vintage. Maybe I can come race in one of those armor races with you in the vintage class. It's like, yeah, they got an age limit. Sorry. But that's my favorite little Blake Davis story.
I love it, man. Blake's absolutely amazing. His dad, Mike's absolutely amazing. So is his mom. It's an honor to dude. They only live 45 minutes from me.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. They're in Lynchburg. I'm in Roanoke, so literally it's a 45-minute drive. Yeah, it's close.
Very close. Yeah.
So yeah, I texted his dad as soon as Blake crossed the finish line. I was like, bro, absolutely proper mega congratulations, let's go. Right, I love it. I get asked the question all the time, who's my favorite racers? It's all my friends that race. You, Mark, everybody, Ella Dreyer, I mean, dude, Matty Skolch, you name it, all of them are my favorite riders for sure. It's
and I raced for him. That really wasn't decided until the very last corner too.
He put it all out there.
Didn't look like he was going to be the winner going into that last corner. There was some interesting strategic shuffling going on, and I'm sure he was just thinking, watch this. That's interesting. I'm out. I'm going to go for it.
It was. That Road America is absolutely a great weekend. Big shout out to my buddy Eddie K and the KSR race team Kawasaki out there too. They did a good job too as well. So yeah, man, absolutely, man. I want to get a couple of these comments, man. We got a bunch of them coming in. We got my man Charlie. What is up? Stoked to finally catch another episode. Let's go, Charlie. And then we got Karen. Hello there. Hi, sister.
My big sister.
How you doing?
Hey, Karen.
Melinda
Hubbard. And my little sister. Look at that. The full family coming in. Support.
And then we got, of course, the legend, Matthew. What is up? Chris and Mark. You, brother, you.
Man, I'm so pissed. I didn't know that he was having his part 2 on Monday. Totally missed it. And you guys are sitting there talking about me, saying nice things, making up lies. And I didn't hear it until like Friday. Like, But but I'm going to try to get Matt on on my Ninja at Mid Ohio. I think that'd be a great opportunity for him to go out there and zip around and race a little bit in the 400 class. And That track is a lot of fun, but it's not necessarily one you learn in an afternoon. It definitely has some blind corners that you just need the repetition of running around lap after lap before you kind of get them all dialed in. Yeah, Matt was an animal on the endurance race Friday. We were we were very lucky to have him on the team that day. He led it for a while. He led, we were I started talking about, well, maybe I just won't ride the last session. We'll have Matt go back out there again. But he wouldn't have any of that. He's like, no, we're all here to have fun. But he was flying. And then speaking of Wonder Kids, Nathan Gawker, Nathan ran him down.
Bro, I was standing there watching. I'm like, dude, how's Nathan in fourth place? Like at this track on a 125. It's because he is absolutely a legend. He is so fast.
Well, I don't know what his situation in the endurance race was, but I think he was dead last on the start. And I was watching his lap times, and it was like 50, 49, 48, 47, 46. Matt was going 47, 47, 47, 47. So in the beginning, I was like, oh, yeah, Matt's got everybody covered. But then I started seeing this person moving up the ranks. I'm like, who's Fat Bob racing? And you look out on the track, and Nathan is not fat. He is not fat at all. And we started doing the math, and it was like, oh, no, there's no chance. It's not even going to be close. But we're all like, hopefully Matt latches onto his tail and learns something. And he sure did. All of a sudden, Matt started doing 46s and even dipped into the 45s, chasing Nathan. And that was really impressive to watch. But then Eric and I were on the bike and we're doing 55s. It was like, okay, I see how it is. The serious racers and then the hobbyists over here.
Right. Yeah, it was an honor to finally meet Nathan. I walked by and I seen it as name on the bike, and I was like, because he was turned around, I was like, Nathan, what's up, man? It's Simcoe, and he just looks at me, and I was like, dude, I hit you up on Instagram, and he says, oh, my dad takes care of that, and then his mom walks up, right? And I'm like, hey, I'm Simcoe, she's like, yeah, I know who you are. I was like, I want to get, honored to get him on. He's like, yeah, we'll get him on for sure. So it was, he's not a talker. Okay, he's not a talker, but man, you watch him ride. He's who reminds me of is Rossi Moore.
Yeah,
he reminds me a lot of Rossi Moore. Rossi, he talks, but the talent and the riding style and the way he rides the bike is very much so.
Yeah, this isn't his. I remember being aware of him last year and seeing his speed last year. It's like, woo.
Yeah,
that's a force to be reckoned with, and he's only gotten faster, so he'll be the next one we're watching. Is he 13 now? 13, 14?
I'm going to say 13 maybe.
13, yeah. So he still has 3 years before he can do anything pro-related.
And when he does, Mark, it's going to be trouble. It really is. It's going to be trouble for sure.
Yeah.
And then, did you meet my buddy Paul McKee there at Road Atlanta? You know Paul, don't you?
I know Paul. We're not close, but we're Facebook friends, and we've chatted and stuff like that. Yeah, he's old school. He's been around for a while.
Yeah, Paul's absolutely amazing. He says the dude shirt game is on point, fellas.
There he is, right there.
Yeah. So listen, real quick, big shout out to VenomSport.com. Aliki, she sent me this shirt, and I absolutely love it. It's my favorite shirt. I ain't gonna lie. My wife's seen it and she's like, no, that's a badass shirt. So big shout out to you guys. Hear me talk about it all the time. VenomSport.com, right? And then the Racer 411 program. There you go. So yeah, it was awesome. And then we got Ellen, of course. Ellen, it was an honor to meet you. I already gave you a virtual hug. Hey, Chris. Hey, Mark. Hi. We got Terry Cooper. Hey, Mark. What's up, Terry?
How's that foot doing, man? Terry got messed up early in March at Savannah. He was going around Road Atlanta in the foot wagon. So I've just recovered from my own foot hell myself. So my heart goes out to him. It tore me up. It broke my heart seeing him still still in the boot and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But it's, he's young. He'll heal fast.
Yeah, it was great to meet Terry too. He's one that I finally got to meet down there that weekend. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having him and Jacob on the pod for sure. Then we got Steven Peterson. What is up, man?
I got to embarrass Steven just a little.
Let's do it. I love it.
Steven is, matter of fact, I'm gonna talk while I'm scrolling through my phone to find a picture. But Steven took my school a year and a half ago, 2 years ago at Savannah. And I'm like, he was, the mock race ended up being red flag, so we never got to find out who was the fastest one in the school. But he was one of the faster guys in the school for sure. But Steven had this wonderful moment of, we talk about do as I say, but not as I do.
Very much so.
We call him Nooner around here, if that's a hint.
Nooner, I love it.
But Steven's been on a tear lately, and added insult to injury, he runs the same class I do, and he's been spanking my ass. Sucks for me. If I could drop 1 second, I could hang in his draft, but I just can't hang in his draft. It really stinks. I guess it was 2 years ago because that wasn't it. Pardon my distraction, but I got to show the picture. I
can't wait to see it. Yeah, I cannot wait to see it. It's
so rewarding as a teacher to see your students do well. And hey, it's not all my job. I show them how to get into the sport. The rest of it's up to them. But lately, I've just been like at Atlanta and at Savannah back in March. I've just been blown away at how many of my students are really succeeding right now. And we're going to have Jacob on here next month or soon. He's another one that's just, just unbelievable. But Steven, I'm just so impressed. I guess it's more impressive to me with Steven just because he runs the same class as me. So there's a real direct,
comparison.
Direct comparison, yeah. But he's crushing it. And he's not just doing his class. He's bumping up into bigger classes and still winning. I believe he cleaned sweep all 3 classes both days at Savannah last weekend.
Congratulations.
That's not easy to do on a Ninja 400. I mean, super stock, you're like, oh yeah, well that's a given. That's the class the bike's for. But he goes in bumps up in the Clubman and lightweight twins, and those are really hard classes to win on a 400. We're getting closer.
Yes, they are. Eli says, "Hey, Mark."
Yep, there's Eli. He's another student of mine. He's just getting into racing. He's about to have, not his first race. His first race this year is coming. He's going to be at VIR.
I love it. I win because I'll be at VIR. I'm going to Azra in 3 weeks. I'll be there. And then, of course, I'll be there for Moto America. And then the weekend after that, they have another club event, too, that I'll be going to as well. So.
And he's one of those people that races one of those bikes that you can't race that. There's no class for that. He races one of those GSX 8Rs.
Nice.
They're a little too fast for lightweight classes, but they're a little undergunned in the heavyweight classes, but he really likes that bike and he's racing the bike he likes. That just doesn't matter. Man, this was 3 years ago that Steve took my school. Kind of embarrassing, but now I'm circling in on it. We're about to find the killer picture of the mock race. Steven's big moment was the mock race. So all this time I've been talking about Steven. But here we go. We're getting close. This is his day. I see all the.
Well, while he's finding that picture real quick, which brings me to a good point. This episode is sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today by Seth Starnes. He also has Next Level Suspension too as well. He's well known in the paddock too, especially in Florida. He's laughing. He found it. Let's go.
Hold on. Where's the camera? We got it. Oh no, the lights aren't going to allow it. Darn it.
I see.
So the starter dropped the flag and Steven dropped the clutch, and I didn't get it exactly, but he got that thing straight up at 12 o'clock, saved it, took off, and was on the second lap, was in the lead pack. We call him, my wife and I call him, we've always called him Nooner ever since then. I'm bad with names, so I'll be like, that guy. She goes, Nooner. I'm like, yeah, him. You beat me again.
Thanks, babe. I love it. I love
Nooner
it.
beat me again. That was a lot of work just for one crummy cell phone picture.
I'm trying to think if I met Steven at Cycle Jam.
He was there. Oh, and by the way, I did beat him at Cycle Jam, but I cheated. I hopped off the Ninja and I hopped on the Aprilia.
Love it, dude.
And the only way I beat him was we got to the back straight and I went, mine has more than yours does. It was a very fun feeling. Just go, woo. He still stayed amazingly close. And in fact, I think he got second. He ran third most of the race, but then the guy that was dogging me in second ran wide in the last turn. And Steven was right there and got second out of that. Says, yeah, payback, man. Grudge match.
I love it. I love it, dude.
You give me 30 extra horsepower, I can beat him.
I got you then. I got you covered, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Matthew says, always fun to learn from a 13-year-old kid. Facts, right? That's where that humble pie, I always call it, comes into play. But it's fun, it's great to see future legends of our sport there and see how fast they are. It blows my mind. When I was watching Nathan, I was like, this kid right here is he's going to be trouble for sure. Eric says his father is very committed and a great dude as well. Eric, I haven't had the honor to meet his dad yet, but I will for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Tyler says, hi, Mark. Hey, Tyler. And of course, we got the legend in the house, Derek Stick Boy.
Stick Boy.
He's awesome.
Man.
Jamie Hester. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, those tires were hooking up. They were hooking up at Road Atlanta, man. Very happy with those tires.
Me and Derek had a nice chat there. It was an honor to finally meet you, Derek, for sure. You and your wife. It was great times, fun times. You guys stay tuned because I finally get Derek on the podcast, people. So you guys will hear all his story. Yes, 100%. And then Jamie Hester says, love Mark Morrow.
Jamie, she's awesome.
She is awesome. Stay tuned.
Are we gonna get Jamie on too?
Jamie's coming on. Yeah, Jamie's coming on. I want to get everybody on. That is my thing. Everybody club racing, track day junkies. I mean, how else are we gonna grow our sport, right? Everybody's story needs to be told. And
absolutely.
I want to have you on my podcast. Let's tell your story. Let's have fun. That's what it's about. 100%.
Let's do it.
Oh, dude, we're going to, man. 100%.
I'm down.
Let's see. What else? Steven says, yeah, I bumped into you with Carter Dabney and the UFC Night Riders. Yes, that's right. Yes. Steven, send me a message, man. We'll get you on the pod, buddy.
Yeah, and Carter reached out to me today. I'm very excited about where that might go. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. So
I'm gonna have to enlist Steven as a coach for the event that Carter and I are talking about, because I don't know if I have anything left to teach Steven except get a faster bike.
Yeah, but now the student becomes a teacher, and now you can learn from him too as well.
Yeah,
100%. Ella, good point. That we'll get into that. She says, want to hear stories from Stick. He has them. 100%. Can't wait to get Stick on the show. I know he's got a million stories. We was talking. Yeah, we talked a lot about our buddy Billy Etheridge and all that good stuff. So yeah, Billy's definitely sorely missed. 110%. So Mark, man, talk to us about your school. What you got coming up?
Hold on just a second.
Derek I've never done anything fun. Okay, Derek.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got 2 dates this year coming up, not till September and November though. So really I'm focusing on the racing and the endurance team. I haven't forgotten about those schools. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. But I feel like, it's always great to be promoting things as you go, but when you put a lot of energy several months in advance, it can make things weird. So I haven't been really pushing the schools, this year. Because I just had the 3 dates and one of them was back in March, but I've already got my first person signed up. So there's somebody that's more prepared, and just got my first. And matter of fact, he just sent the deposit yesterday, so I'm very excited about that. It's great to have them already filling up. So I hope to have these two schools, both are going to be at Roebling. One September 21st, which is a Sunday, and then the other one's November 23rd, which is also a Sunday. And there's a chance we might make the November 23rd one an advanced skills techniques class, which is basically it'll be for licensed racers only. You have to have a race license to participate, and we won't be wasting time on the fundamentals and this is the green flag, this is a black flag, this is a checker flag stuff. We're going to get right into passing techniques and advanced racecraft stuff, doing fun drills, things like no brakes drills. And have you ever gone out on a track and done no brakes? Yeah, you have to, not like I didn't service my brakes and there's no brakes, but when you intentionally, I first experienced that taking Keith Code School 28 years ago. But what a brain. I mean, it really forces you to get your corners. You learn really quick. Oh, I was slowing down too much for these turns, but it only works if everybody's doing it. And also if you can do it for 2 or 3 sessions. You don't go out there and have one no break session and figure anything out. It's really that second and third session when you start. But I love with advanced skills. Whenever I do an advanced skills class, we definitely have at least 3 sessions that are no brakes, no gears either. Just put it in 5th gear and
let her eat.
This is all you get. This and that. And then we give everything back, give the brakes and the gear shifter back, and then we see what you can really do. The advanced technique schools are a lot of fun. To date, I've only taught 3 or 4 of them, but every time I teach one, everyone has a great time. Tyler Dennis is another student. I don't know if he's on the podcast, but he and Steven end up battling a lot in the E-Super Stock class, and he had a lot. He got a lot of that when we did the school at VIR South last year. We did an advanced school on the second day, and he got a lot out of that. But so yeah, it's kind of a low-key year for the school, and a couple of months ago I was kind of depressed about it because I'd had these big plans to have like 15 or 16 schools this year, and then not one but 2 partners that I had handshakes with backed out on me, and I was like, oh, okay, and it kind of put me in a little funk. But lately I've just been blown away by the warmth and support, seeing all my former students do so well, and I'm getting messages, off the hook with people asking when's the next school and, how can I get involved? And, I'm realizing, sometimes things just happen for a reason. And sometimes the thing that needs to happen is you just got to take a step back and focus. And, sometimes you have to change your approach. And I was so focused on trying to have as many schools as I could. And now I'm more focused on, I want to make both of these schools I have here amazing, best schools I've ever done. And so that's kind of where I am. And I was really blown away at Road Atlanta. I had a dozen former students of mine out there succeeding on the podium. Max and Carolyn and Doug and Jacob, Dennis, Tyler and Steven. It's just so great to see all these people just flourishing. And like I said, I don't deserve all the credit. I mean, they're the ones twisting. They're the ones doing the hard part, but I definitely have a little pride, and
100%.
I think all the little bit of funk I was having a couple months ago, that is long gone. I'm feeling really good.
Good. You should be proud of yourself. I see it when you talk about it, the smile on your face when you talk about your students and how good they did and how it makes you feel. And it's absolutely amazing what you do for everybody. They love you. They learn so much from you, and that's why they keep coming back. I mean, let's go, right? That's what it is. And speaking of the no breaks, yes, I did. I remember when I first did it with CCS and Phoenix, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go out," and they talked about it, and I'm shitting myself. I'm like, "What are you talking about? No breaks? What is this? What? Yeah, I forget. It might have been 5th gear, 4th gear, one of those. It might have even been 6. I'm not sure. And yeah, I just remember going out there for like 3 laps, like just totally shitting myself. Like, this is just absolutely. But then once I started to relax, then it started to make sense. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely breaking too much for this corner. I can definitely do this. Which
Yeah, you can just move it back a little farther, back a little farther, back a little. You just keep on rolling that spot that you let off. And the beauty of it is that the bike will decelerate at the same rate every time. Whereas when you're using the brakes, there's a variable. The variable is you. How hard are you squeezing that lever? And I just love that stuff.
I do too.
I did it when I did it with the Keith Code Superbike School. It was at Road Atlanta, and this was in '97 when there was still the gravity cavity. It was quite an experience. Like, I was going down the hill in the cavity. I was like, let off now. And all the way down, I'm like, that was too late. That was too late. That was too late. Oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. But then you going up that hill, you scrub a lot of speed. And by the time I get to turn 11 and be like, oh, here we go. But oof. I want to give another shout out. I want to talk about another. We've mentioned Jacob a couple times. He's not only a former student of mine, but also he's the first person to take part in my mentorship program. And this was something that it kind of happened organically. I really helped out one of the BTR racers one year, a good friend, Chloe Peterson. She had some good success. And that was just, because Chloe and I are friends and I like to help her out. But she had a lot of nice things to say about the input that I was giving her. And I thought, man, I should offer this as a service. And so I kind of went down and tappity tap, tap, tap on the computer this winter. And I kind of created this whole mentorship program. And I broke it into 3 different levels, kind of like a track day level, a club racer level, and a you want to go for it level. And Jacob called me up. He reached out to me asking about it. And we worked out some things, and I'm kind of sponsoring him on it. So you can read into that whatever you will, but it's been an incredible journey, and what a great racer to work with. Jacob's really got his head screwed on straight, and he's fast. He's very fast. He's at Road Atlanta. He finished 2nd overall in B Superstock. The only person that beat him was the winning expert rider. And then this weekend, he did the same thing at Savannah. He's really fast. But what's really impressive to me about him is that when he makes mistakes, he doesn't go into defense mode. He doesn't go into excuses mode. He owns up to it. He says, I screwed this up. What can I do to make it better? And he just automatically thinks that without having to be told. So refreshing to work with people like that. And I'm really excited to see his success, and any small piece of his success I can claim is a win for me, because again, he's the one doing this and I'm just the one talking in his ear. That I like to think of it as like I'm Mickey and Rocky, I'm in his corner, with a water bottle and the towel, come on, you stink.
Yeah, you stink. What are you doing? You suck.
Yes. But really excited about the mentorship program. And so looking to have more people take advantage of that, because I think it's really a great service. I've never gone pro. I'm not a pro racer. I'm a club racer. But what the unique thing that I have is 30 years of club racing and 30 years of successful club racing, so you want to go Moto America? I'm not saying don't call me, but there are, to specifically know Moto America, you probably want to talk to some Moto America racers, but you want to go club racing? I got you. I know what it takes to win club races and championships. And, it's my pleasure to help other people figure that out. So,
for sure. What's up, babe?
Are you still live?
Yeah, I'm still live. Why, you coming in?
No.
Why not? I think my wife's camera shy.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's absolutely. And here we're talking. Jacob McCall. It was great to meet him. He is, it was my first time. I've talked to him before on the phone, but getting to meet somebody in real life. You feel the vibes and everything, right? He is level-headed kid. I shouldn't even call him a kid, young adult, right? He's super fast. I watched him race too. And I was
I'd
like,
say, did you see him race? He
yes.
is truly gifted on a motorcycle. It's fun to watch him. And I finally got him to start wearing a GoPro when he's on the track. So now we're really
Now we're really getting at it. I love it, man.
He'll probably talk about the first video that we reviewed with him. I was kind of hard on him, but he went out the next day and dropped 4 seconds. So,
and that's no easy feat. 4 seconds. That's a huge jump.
Yeah. Sometimes sometimes you got to be hard,
It's tough love, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Tyler actually has a question. He says, should someone do track days before the school if they're a total beginner?
Man, that is a great question.
It is.
And the true answer is no. I designed my school to be approachable for a brand new, never been on the track. I've never raced before. I've never even gone to the track. I just want to give it a try. So we teach you to crawl, and then we teach you to walk, and then we teach you to jog. And at the end of the day, we let you run if you want to run. And by the end of the day, you will definitely know either A, I'm good enough tomorrow, or B, I need to go do some track days to practice on some things. So one of the things that I hear that drives me crazy, I'll say, oh, yeah, I run this school, blah, blah, blah. And people say, oh, I'm not fast enough to take a race school. I've only been doing track days for 2 years, or fill in the blank. 2 weekends, 6 weekends, 10 weekends, 20 weekends, whatever it is. It drives me crazy because you don't have to be fast to race. You just have to want to go out there and race. And I think we talked about this in the last one, but it's worth talking about again. And the meme shows up on the internet every once in a while that in a race with 20 people, there's going to be one winner and then 19 people that learn something. And, if everybody that lost sucked, then there wouldn't be any racing. You're not a loser because you lose. What was the movie with Will Ferrell?
If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah. Days of Thunder, not Days of Thunder, but
I know what it is. I'm waiting on you.
You know what I'm talking about. I skip names.
Ricky Bobby, baby. Talladega Nights. Yeah.
Talladega Nights. There it is. Thank you. That was a hilarious movie, and we all love watching it, but it is not true. If you ain't first, you're last. No. That's not what racing is about.
A pound of Bam Bam, whatever it was called, in a Cougar in a car and expect you to go. It was funny as hell, though. I ain't gonna lie. He's like, you're either going to jail or you're going to win. He's like, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. So back to Tyler's question. Absolutely not. It's not required to take track days. It's not. And if I want to get on my soapbox and preach a little bit, I'll say it's actually a bad idea. Because the longer you're at, and no disrespect, some of the track day organizations are really putting a lot of effort into rider education now, but that wasn't always the case. And so many times I've had students come into the school that, oh, I've been doing track days for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they look at the school as just a little formality. And then like very early in the day, I start telling them things that are completely different from what they've heard in the pits. They're like, well, that's not what I heard. I'm like, yeah, well, who told you? Was it a racer? Well, no, it was Billy Bob, but he's been doing track days forever. I'm like, okay, well, I've won 58 national championships.
How many's Billy Bob won?
Has Billy Bob run in a race before? No, he's never done a race. He says racing's too expensive. So it is actually easier for me. My job is a lot easier to have people that are brand new, right off the street, either street riding or dirt bike riding. Dirt bike riders make those are some of the easiest transitions to road racing too. When I get motocross riders that like, hey, I want to try pavement, it's like, here, so we're just going to teach you to do the opposite with your body position. And I just need to teach you to slow down.
Like this.
Like, slow down. Life is not a double jump,
Not a triple.
Motocross, or actually flat track racers, make the easiest transition. Flat track racers, I've never had a flat track student that wasn't the fastest person in the class. I've had one that had never ridden on the pavement. I've rode like twice on a road bike, but I grew up racing flat track. I just raced flat track. I want to try pavement. Like first time ever being on pavement, instantly fastest guy in the class. Flat track racers, they have it. They're just used to the back end being kicked out. You got to teach them to not kick the back end out all the time. Like we just want to occasionally do that, not every corner. But
you look at Cody Top and Talent Cup, right? He's straight flat track thrown into the deep end, and I mean he's hanging with the future legends of the sport, Ella Dreyer and all of them. So
absolutely
fast, absolutely fast. You could tell he's. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I just love getting students that have no track day or a track day or two. That's kind of the sweet spot. Because the one thing that I will say is that it is bad when I get a student that thinks they want to try road racing and then they're not holding the throttle wide open on the straightaway. I'm like, oh, maybe you should have gone to a track day or two because, we're all holding the throttle open on the straightaway. It's the turns that you got to let it off. So I'm happy to see people with like 1 or 2 track days. But when I get the ones that have like a year or 2 of track days, I'm like, oh, it's going to be an uphill battle. There's going to be some unlearning that's going to have to go.
Breaking bad habits is what I call it.
Breaking bad habits.
Yeah.
You got the carrot and you got the stick. We need a lot of stick with those ones.
Stick with those ones. Right. Absolutely. No, I mean, you're right. I preach it too all the time. It's hard to break somebody out of that bad habit versus you get somebody in that's done just 1 or 2 track days and never been on there because now they're a sponge, right? They subconsciously put all that shit that they think they know in the back of their mind and then just taking all the info in. And then when they finally get out there, like it clicks. Everything comes together like, oh, now I see, right? And then that's where the real progression starts instead of, getting around somebody that's, I'm Ricky Road Racer and I know it all and this and that. And like you said, you got there on the front straightaway and they're 3/4 of the throttle open. You're like, what are you doing?
But also don't take, I realize that those words could be taken harshly. I'm not meaning to be, talk about the track day riders because there are some fast mofos at track days. The advanced group in any organization is full of people that really should be racing. If you do enough track days that you're in the advanced group, come on, line it up. How long do you want to just go in circles without chasing something? Let's go. Come on.
Right.
But the intermediate group, that's like that. Ooh, you got to go in the inters. No.
I'm not ready.
It's like my one thing. Like I love private coaching, one-on-one private coaching, but whenever someone's like, I'm in the intermediate group, I'm like, oh, that means I'm going to have to ride in the intermediate group. I don't want to. How about I'll just take videos and coach you from the sideline? I'd rather be in the novice group at a track day than be in the intermediate group. The novice group, the novices, they know where they are. They know that they're down here. They have some humility. They take direction well.
They pay attention.
They pay attention. They have a very healthy, real fear of screwing up, getting embarrassed, getting hurt. It's the inter riders. They kind of like, well, I used to be a novice, but now I'm an inter now.
I'm an 8th grader, not a 6th grader anymore. What are you talking about?
I'll just always, when I'm coaching an inter group, I'm just like, okay, I'll follow you. And can I put a big yellow sign on my back? Please don't hit me. People coming. It's always the big bikes too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
1,000.
There's also people getting into their first track day or club event. There's a lot of pressure too as well, going into just everything about it, right? But talking with people like you and phone calls and advice and taking schools, it helps ease the tension. Now they kind of expect nobody's ever going to be ready for your first track day, right? Everybody's so focused on, I want to drag my knee, right? And if you try to drag your knee, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, right? But you do it when you least expect it.
That's what I'm saying. If you just happens organically.
Just come. Just let it happen. Let it happen the way it's supposed to happen.
I don't mean to be crude, but it's kind of like high school guys trying to get laid. If you're trying to, it's probably not going to happen. But when you just chill out and be yourself, all of a sudden, my knee's on the ground. Look at that.
Look at that. And then you can go home and tell your friends, well, I drug my knee today. Check this out. I'm a ninth grader today.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love it.
You know, most of that pressure it comes from internal. They put that pressure on
Of
themselves.
course.
I see quite often with track day riders that they're really worried and focused on what everybody thinks of their riding. And I'm kind of like, dude, I don't want to be rude, but no one cares. Just go out there and do your thing. You know, they get so worried about, well, my BP isn't good. I don't have my elbow down. I don't have the tweezer grip. I don't have this on the tank. They're all worried about how they look or how slow they are or who passed them. Or I'm like, it's a racetrack. People are going to pass people. No matter how fast you are, there's always going to be a bigger fish. And, just go out there and do your thing. No one really cares if you're the passer or the passee. You do something stupid and hurt somebody. Now people care.
Yeah, people care, yeah.
But I think a lot of track day riders, especially the newer ones, they put way too much pressure about how they're going to look. And it's like, dude, we don't care how you look. We just want you to go out here and gain some experience in a safe, controlled environment and, get faster and more confident and more comfortable. And, not everybody's dragging knee or elbow or whatever the first time. We all move at our own pace, and that's the way it goes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I take that back. I've dragged my elbow several times. When I do, it's my hip follows and then my shoulder. And then I'm like, well, there goes my bike, right? And I look behind me. I'm like, shit, this is going to suck, right? Yeah. So it's something that I always wanted to do, but I just feel like dragging your knee, right? It happens when it happens. So,
I see you read out the same hymnal that I do.
I do, yeah.
When it comes to elbow dragging.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been Jorge. I can get as low as Jorge Martin. Yeah, if I can drag that helmet on the ground, what are you talking about?
Mark Marquez, Mark Marrow, they're the same guy, right?
We are seniors.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Oh, man, I love it.
I'm in advanced program classes. I'm going straight to college.
Straight to college.
Jacob
McCall says, nothing but love for everyone. Appreciate all the support and continuous support system. Y'all are the real legends of the sport, including this comment section.
Yeah, that's Jacob right there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love the humbleness. It reminds me of me. I'm a very humble guy too, as well. So is Mark, right? So it's when people say nice things about me, of course I eat it up, but it's just when you use certain words like legend and stuff, I'm like, dude, I'm just a normal guy. I'm just like Mark. I'm just a normal guy, right? It's like the inner shyness comes out. You know what I mean? It's but Jacob's very humble guy, and it's awesome. He also says, my very first track day coming from Dirt World was Mark's school. The very next weekend, I raced Road A immediately. Haven't looked back since. Just be a sponge in all aspects, and you'll enjoy what you can achieve. It's a fact.
And true to that, when he took my school, I didn't know that was his first track day. And he didn't ride like it was his first track day. He rode controlled, matured. He did have one little incident where we actually called him in and just said, hey, and I wasn't talking about Jacob when I said that. One thing you have to tell the dirt bike riders is we need to just keep it on the pavement. Is it Guy Martin? It said there's a gray blur and there's a green blur. I usually try to stay mostly on the gray one.
Yep.
He's talking about the Isle of Man.
Yep. Which is going on. So if you guys hadn't subscribed to the TT Plus, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? The greatest show on earth is happening.
Why are you watching us? Now. You should be watching the TT.
Bro, right, for real, right? You can go back and listen to this.
We're safe.
Yeah, it's nighttime there now, but you can always go back and watch the reruns. But yeah, it's very humbling to have people come into your school that are like these little itty bitty sponges and they just take it all in. And then when you see them out there and you ride with them, you're like, man, they listened. Like, this is awesome. They listened for once, right? It's like, this is how I explain it. Like, I could literally tell Rossi something, Mark, like, I wouldn't do that, right? And then you can go up to him and say, I wouldn't do that. He'll look at you and be like, okay. But he'll look at me and be like, yeah, whatever, Dad.
Whatever, dude. Right?
Yeah, whatever.
You never teach your own kids. There's a rule there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very true. So
it's very true.
I
think it's interesting, the whole humility, and this sport by its nature, pushes us to achieve and make ourselves the center. But I'm at heart, I'm a very humble person. And so throughout my racing career, and I'm actually kind of this, there's a psychological term for it, but I'm always, I'm an underdog. In my mind, I'm always the underdog. I've had seasons where I dominated, but I still thought I was the underdog. And people look at me like, you're not the underdog, dude. I'm like, no, I just got lucky, or the fast guy didn't show up, or his motor blew up. I always have some excuse why I won. Other people are making excuses why they lost. And I'm like, no, it's not right for me to be here at the top step, but I just happened to be in the right place. And it's always been kind of, my dad was a psychiatrist, but he passed away before I got a chance to talk to him about this one. That it's interesting that I was always striving to be the best, but then when I was the best, it's always been like, oh no, I just got lucky. What, me? It's kind of weird. It's like pushing and pulling, and you're ultimately not going anywhere. You're just kind of stuck in this kind of thing. But I still, whenever I line up on the grid, I think everybody's going to kick my ass, and I'm just going to give it everything I got to show them that they can't, because I'm the underdog. I'm the underdog. I'm going to scrapper. It's always weird to me when people say, oh, I expected you to dominate that race, and then you finish third. I'm like, I'm 56 and like 250 pounds, and I'm racing against kids that are this big. I don't think I'm going to dominate anything, maybe the comment section afterwards on Facebook. But,
or that hamburger on the grill, I'm dominating that as soon as I come off the track. Facts.
I'm really into fitness old pizza in my mouth.
Right? Oh my God.
I'll tell you the pride I get. Well, I kind of touched on this already, but like last in March when I got the whole shot, well, compared to Steven, I got the whole shot, but then going into turn one, he went around me and I was like, oh, it's Steven, my old student. I'll latch onto his tail and see if I can't show him a trick or two. And then half a lap later, Steven was like doing this thing. I was like, you go, boy. Okay, I guess I got nothing, man. Good luck. Let me
pull out my notepad and take some of these notes right now.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that if I hopped on a 750, Jacob would be doing the same thing too. He's just fast. So I am truly blessed to be seeing so many of my students just flourish and just do great.
You know why? You know why that is, Mark? Because you're great and you help them flourish. No, seriously.
No, the other guy's motor blue, man.
Oh yeah, right. And we're a sixth grader today. No, I'm just. Yeah.
I'm really a fifth grader, but I just tested high on the sports.
Right. I'm just wearing my dad's pants today with a belt. What are you talking about?
My dad's bigger than your dad.
Right. Paul actually has something to say about Jacob too. He says, Jacob saved my race at Roebling this weekend. Came into tech after a crash, needed zip ties to hold the bike together to finish. He bolted on his scooter and was back in seconds. Big thanks to him. Absolutely.
That sounds like Jacob.
Nope.
This is consistent with Jacob. I mentioned that mentorship thing. Well, the first weekend I went to mentor Jacob, he spent more time helping me in the pits. He's like, have you checked your tire pressure? Do you want me to gas up the Ninja? I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to be helping you. We got to work on this thing. He made me up my game. I'm doing my own. Now I get my tire pressure done before Jacob can get near my bike. Get it gassed up. I have to set my alarm half an hour earlier just so I can get my own stuff so Jacob doesn't come and do it for me. It's really positive influence around the pits.
That's great. It's
forcing me to be a grown-up when I really just want to be Peter Pan. But
right. We just want to be kid. Well, I'm a kid at heart. You're a kid at heart. I mean, let's just be honest.
Forever.
Yeah, that's what I tell people, when like friends are my age, right? You're older than me, but they're like, dude, I feel so old. I'm like, bro, it's right here in your mind. What are you talking about?
It's just a number.
It's just a number, baby. Let's roll it. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Enjoy it for sure.
And I'm 56, but when I was racing with Arma, I was kind of middle-aged in the Arma paddock. There's some people that you'd be shocked. I mean, that I've seen guys racing in Arma that were in their 90s. That's rare, but there's a lot of 80-year-olds and 70-year-olds and 60-year-olds. the sport professionally, the sport is a young man's sport. Absolutely. But as far as recreational and having a good time, man, you
don't have no age limit.
There is no age limit.
There's no age limit.
When you can't zip up your leathers, or when your hip's so bad you can't swing your leg over the bike, then you might want to talk about giving it up. But my mentor Ed Bargy is still running his school, and I believe he's 80 right now.
The legend Ed Bargy.
I dream of being able to teach my school when I'm 80 years old. I just and he's had some bad crashes too. He's the first one that taught me, you know how you can tell if somebody's a road racer or not? Like, how? He goes, just watch them walk.
Facts.
The older road racers, especially, they've got the limp and the hobble and the wiggle, and this doesn't work, that doesn't work. It's part of the sport.
It works here, but just not here, right? It's like the communications got interrupted somehow. I need to fix the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, man.
It is crazy how time flies, though, because I sometimes think about races that happened in the 90s, and I think of them like it was just yesterday. And, of course, there's other races that happened in the 2000s that I can't even remember. But the older ones I tend to remember very well, the stuff from my first couple of years of racing, when I was learning all those big lessons, the ones that really hurt.
Right.
You remember those ones, and the firsts, your first win, your first this, your first that, first time I slid that, first time I tucked the front but saved it.
That's what I was gonna say. First
time I tucked the front and didn't save it.
Facts, right? We've been there.
You can't do one without the other.
No, you can't. The first high side. Yeah. We all been there. Derek says we used to play Talladega Nights on the projector when we raced at Tally. It was Colombian Bam Bam. Colombian Bam Bam. And what the little kid at the dinner table, he said, "Hey, Grandpa, you got any more of that sweet Chiba or whatever it was?" I started crying laughing. I was like, "Let's go!" Oh man, I love it.
Thank you, baby Jesus.
Yeah, thank you, baby Jesus. Derek says, "Ask Ginger Stick, am I the carrot or the stick?"
Huh. That sounds like a trick question.
It is. That's what.
Don't answer. There's no right answer to that question.
He's setting us up, is what it
is. He's definitely setting us both up. I plead the fifth.
I seen the trap. I seen the bear trap.
My
buddy Emmanuel, dude, he races. He's an absolute freaking fast mega guy. He says, "I've met Mark, and I know everything he says, and those are the facts." So listen, Emmanuel, you need to sign up for his school, man.
I recognize Emmanuel from Facebook, but we've never
go out there and have fun. Yeah, he's
that's great. I got a supporter. Supporter has never even met me, but I try to speak the truth and facts whenever. And one thing about social media is everybody's got an opinion, and when true beginners or people that are looking for knowledge go on to track day addicts, track day junkies, all these Facebook pages, and they ask questions, half the replies are sarcastic, they're funny, they're the complete opposite of what the right answer. I always try to refrain from that form of humor, even though I appreciate that humor. I like to laugh at the jokes and everything, but I take beginners very seriously. I take people that are seeking knowledge very seriously. And I try to only say the things that I know. If I'm guessing, I'll say, "I'm not sure about this, but I've heard," or, I'll always put some little qualifier in there that says, "I'm not standing behind this one, but I'm pretty sure about it." But when I know it's a fact, I just state it as a fact. And that rubs people the wrong way sometimes. They're like, "Well, who are you? What do you think you?" And now I got to pull, we got to pull out the yardsticks and whip them out and all that stuff.
Like, all right, let me unbuckle real quick. Let's see what you got.
Oh God, really? Come on. But I do try to help everybody out, not just just for taking my school, but just in general. I'm always answering people's questions because there's so much misinformation out there, and I just want to get the record straight. Don't listen to those yahoos. Here's what you really need to know. Don't focus on that. Focus on this. Get there. Put one foot in the other. Get your ass right to the grid and go race.
Yeah, you said the nail on the head. There's a lot of misinformation going around on the internet when people get in there and asking genuine questions about just riding technique, anything, right? And it's everybody wants to poke sticks and and put people down when all they're seeking is how to progress themselves in our sport, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like you. I if I know be a fact, I say a fact. If I don't know and I'm unsure, I'm like, this might be the case. I'm not 100% sure. Let me check into it, and I'll get back with you, right? Something like that. So yeah, I don't want to put any misinformation out because I know the ton of misinformation I got when I first got into the sport. Everybody was coming at me with all this different shit, and 90% of it wasn't even fucking true, right? Let's just be honest. So it's one of those things.
Ed Bargy used to have a great speech he gave at the beginning of his schools, because I started coaching for him in 2004. And I always loved this speech. He'd go through the whole, it's the very first little orientation before we're even going out on the track or anything. But he'll say, there's something along the lines of, you'll hear people saying, you go to a track day or whatever, and you'll hear people say, well, they say that this is what you're supposed to do. He said, anytime anyone that tells you they say before they tell you something doesn't know what they're talking about. He said, you've come to take my school. You've paid me money to get my knowledge. You're never going to hear me say they say. I am only going to tell you facts. I'm going to tell you facts that I have proven and painfully sometimes learned myself. And he's always been a mentor to me. So I always try to keep that up. But I do throw the they say in there just because sometimes I want to say, well, I'm not positive about this, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be okay following my advice. But I want to have a little bailout just in case I screwed up and I was wrong. So I will throw. That's one of the differences between me and Ed. Ed deals only with facts. I deal mostly with facts, but I let you know when it's not a fact. I'm like, well, those are all facts. This one it should be good.
Maybe. Let's find out, right? Yeah, let's go. It's funny when you say that because they say a lot, right? Anytime they say the Earth's flat, right? They say we went to the moon, right? There's a lot of they say going on, so check your facts, people, for sure.
Facts. Check your facts.
100%. Stick Boy said, where is it at? I just seen it. Stick Boy Bennett stole you quickly. He said it's talking about you mentioned the carrot and the stick. That's what he was referring to.
Oh, the carrot. Once again, Stick Boy is about 3 steps ahead of the rest of us. We're right over our heads. Yep. Oh, yeah, I still remember my pressures though. 37-27. I'm gonna be good.
37-27. You got to beat Jacob to it, man. I got it, Jacob. I got it.
I'm old school, man. I come from the era where you put 30-30 in there and you just worked it out, back in the old days. That doesn't work so well these days.
Well, the tire technology is far advanced from it. They're still black round things, but yeah, it's
they're black, they're round, they stick.
That's the main component of a motorcycle, people, is the two black round things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny we say that because I always said, like, you hear MotoGP and all this, we got to slow the bikes down. I said, make shittier tires.
That'll do it.
That'll absolutely, you forget all the millions of dollars you're going to redo all this bull. Just make shittier tires.
Yeah, I don't want to start reopen a debate from 10 years ago, but that year that Rossi went to the Ducati, it wasn't the Ducati that was the problem.
It's funny you say that, Mark, because I tell people that's the best analogy that I use when I say, it's such detrimental to have a rider in a positive environment behind the closed doors in a garage, right? Look what happened. Look what it did to Rossi. It almost destroyed him because the guy didn't believe in him, right? Yep. And now he lost his self-belief. And once that happened, mistake. Then he got back on the Yamaha. Game over, right? So it's very imperative that and people too, they'll be like, oh well, last year he dominated on this bike, but now he's on this bike and he sucks. I'm like, dude, he didn't lose his talent. What are you talking about? That has nothing to do with it at all, right? You're not gonna take a fighter pilot out of F-16 and throw him into an F-18 he's never flown before and think he's gonna maneuver like it was. It's going to take time to get there.
It might take him a little longer to get it started up. Right. Once he's in the air, he's like, "Ooh, alpha!"
Right?
Love it. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm a huge Rossi fan, like you, but I didn't like Rossi when he first hit the scene because he was always riding the best bike, and I only root for underdogs. And so when he was on the Honda, I was just like, "Yeah, what a punk kid." He's riding the best equipment. But that year he switched to the Yamaha, and him and Biaggi had that big battle at South Africa.
Never forget it.
Biaggi would go by him like he had seven gears on the straightaway, and he just make it up in the turns, make it up in the brakes. Came down to the last lap, last corner. That was when I was like, "All right, this guy's worthy of me. He's earned my respect." And bow down,
baby.
I loved it when he went to the Ducati. I hated seeing him struggle, but I can't remember specifics. I think they went to a spec tire that year, and he was spoiled. He was used to having the one-offs. The Michelin factory would literally come to the track Thursday for testing or Friday for testing, and then literally make a custom tire that night and rush it to the track for the races the next day. And when they went to spec tires, he didn't have that. And, he just got a little coddled and spoiled, and all of a sudden everybody's on the same tire. And I think he struggled that year. It was less of, I think the Ducati had some of the faults, but it was really more about the tires. But that's a tangent. We don't really have to go down that way.
Yeah, no, you're right. Right. Tires. I want to see Tire Wars back in Moto America. Let's bring Tire Wars back in Moto America.
Yeah.
It'll lower the cost of tires, right? And so Billy Sane, what is up, my man? He says, I got here late. Did you talk about Big Fish?
Big Fish? I don't know what Big Fish is. Big Fish, Little Pond?
Little Pond, Big Fish? I don't know.
Billy was Billy was probably racing with USCRA this weekend up at Thompson Raceway, I believe. Yeah.
Good. So what's the next event you're going to be going to, Mark?
I'm going to be heading up to VIR in a couple of weeks. I'm going to dip my toe into the ASRA pool, check out what their scene is like. I've heard really good things.
So you're going to be there in 3 weeks when I'm there?
I guess it's 3 weeks, whatever it is on the calendar. I'm going to show up that day. I'm going to show up both days. I'm going to show up for Saturday and Sunday, and I'll bring the Aprilia and I'll bring the Ninja. And I'm reading through the rule book. There's not a lot of variety in the lightweight classes, so but I'll sign up for a couple of them. And I haven't raced at VIR since 2018. That was the last time we were raced there. Arma's never raced there, and I never raced with ASRA before. I raced with CCS back in the day when you used to race CCS, back in the 90s. But I haven't raced with CCS or ASRA in over 20 years, so it should be fun. No plans to chase championships with them or go to a bunch of events, but man, VIR is 70 minutes from my house. I can't not race at a track that's so close to home, a track that I love like that. So I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, it's June 14th through the 15th. VIR, baby, let's go. I will be.
That's 2 weeks, dude.
Yep, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I hope this is cleared up by then. And
me too, Mark.
And then 2 weeks after that, I'm gonna truck all the way down to Barber with the Weira races down at Barber. They've got a race there June 30th, I believe. So I haven't been to the summer Weira race at Barber in about 5 years, and that used to be one of our favorite. You go to Barber at the end of the year, whether it's the Arma Vintage thing or the Weira GNF thing, it's hectic, it's chaotic. It's a big, busy event. Track time's limited, pressure's high. You make one mistake, you're pissed off. The summer event is pretty chill. It's just a club race at a really, really nice track. And I like going to that one. It's pretty fun. Barber is a beautiful facility, but when you got security guards around saying you can't go there, it's not so much fun. When literally you can just go anywhere, you can just go up on that hill and watch the race from wherever you want to race or watch. It's a lot of fun there. So I'm excited. And I was supposed to race at Barber twice last year, and I missed both those races because of my accident. So I'm going to do a little makeup, get reacquainted with one of my favorite tracks.
I've never been to Barber. It's my goal next year. I want to go.
You should go. You should go.
It's only 7 hours from my doorstep, so
it's not bad. And it'll take your breath away. The place is a beauty. You drive in and it's all in this bowl of a valley, and it's just like, the access road going around, and the museum is spectacular. I love the museum, and I love going to there and playing amateur curator. I took some friends. We all went there one year, and like every exhibit. And I wasn't trying to do this. I'm just kind of a nerd, and I read a lot, and I drink wine. But I just kept on talking about all the displays. And like, oh, well, that's the TZ 125. Hey, that was the first year of the clutch going this way. The other one had the clutch going, and they're just staring at me like, you need a job here. Are they hiring, man? You should work here. Like, yeah.
How much do they pay?
Museum curators usually don't make it. It's usually a volunteer only.
No, I can't do that.
I can't do that.
That's hilarious. I can't do that. I can't.
That's definitely worth. You should go there.
I'm going. I'm going. And you know what I'm looking forward to? Seeing you again, my friend, in 2 weeks at VIR.
VIR.
Your wife coming with you?
Of course. She never misses it.
Good. We'll have to grill out this time. I'll stick around and we'll throw some stuff on the grill. Listen, we're going to end this here in a few. We're an hour and 15 into this.
Okay.
We will definitely listen. Mark, always. You're coming back home, brother. Trust me, we still got so much more to talk about.
Anytime.
But before I let you end this podcast, I just want to say a couple things. First and foremost, again, thank you to everybody that watches this podcast. It's nothing but love. I mean that. It's without, again, Mark and everybody coming on here, I would not be able to do this. So I love every single one of you guys and girls. And if you have not yet, please go to all my socials and hit that ding, ding, ding bell. You guys know the routine. Big shout out to Next Level Financial, bisontrack.com for all your – hold up. I got a new camera, so now – all right, hold up.
Wait, it's not following you.
Hang on. I had to turn –
oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. So my Bison suit right there, people, bisontrack.com. Let's go. Big shout out to Chef Eats, TST Industries, the clothingkings.co.uk, where you guys can go to that website and get all your Pin to Gas podcast merch. Big shout out to SFL Mini GP. You guys and girls can go to miniusasbk.com and sign up for all their events, and you don't need nothing. You just sign up and register. You don't need helmets, leathers, boots, gloves. No, you don't need to bring a bike. You just show up and have fun. Big shout out to RD Racing, and big shout out to Jake Marsh, man, for your third place at Bemis a couple days ago. Proper mega, my friend. Big shout out to Vet2Track. If I have any vets out there, go to vet2track.com. What he does is absolutely amazing. Flying Eyes Optics for your sunglass needs. You guys can use the discount code Pin to Gas. I actually have, I had them. My wife probably stole them because she's getting ready to go to the beach, but everybody loves my Flying Eyes Optics sunglasses. Are absolutely amazing. 64 Degree Racing, Tate sent me 2 custom undersuits. They're hands down my favorite undersuits, 110%. And as I always say, don't show up to a track or club weekend with just one undersuit. Bring more than you bring underwear. Trust me. Just trust us. Okay. We learned from our mistakes. Big shout out to venomsport.com on my new shirt. I absolutely love my shirt. Aliki, again, thank you so much. Yes, I'll be placing me in order really soon. Everybody go to tippingracing.com at racer411 at race/CRA.com. Their racer program is absolutely phenomenal. If you're out there in California, look no further. Well, there's my personal note. You guys can't see that, but I'm just joking. Look, Mark looks real serious right now. Look at him. He's like,
Pause is reading my lip.
no, you're good. You're good. Big shout out to listen, I need everybody to go to roadracingworld.com. Please donate to the air fence. It's imperative that we have them. If we do not have the air fences, if we do not have corner marshal workers and the ambulance at the track, guess what? There is no club racing. There's no event. There's none of that. So if you want to be a track marshal, get in touch with me. I'll put you in the right people so you can get out there. You guys have the best seats in the house anyway. And go to roadracingworld.com. Every bit helps, whether it's $5, $10, $50. Please donate. We all thank you very much for that. Big shout out to KYT Helmets, K-Tech Suspension, Ghetto Customs for all your custom body work. Chris Parrish is absolutely amazing. Dripping Wet, REB Graphics and GRG Graphics. Big shout out to Woodcraft, Mark 10 Motorsports, Free Hugs Racing, baby, let's go. And Nicole Polyich Photography. So, yeah, man, that was a lot. Mark, the floor is all yours, my friend.
All right. Well, I've got a few myself I need to thank. I couldn't be where I am today without the support from all of these great people. There's a nice looking shirt right there. Show them the back. Show them the back. There it is. That's right. And yes, that's my phone number. I know it.
There you go.
I know I'm crazy. I'm crazy. And if I don't mention Pitbull and turn 10, I'm going to be screwed. So People have been behind me from day one. VO2 Leathers, Pitbull Stands, Scott Clow Racing, Traction Dynamics, Stick Boy, and Monkey Works. That's complicated. I'm thanking Continental and Bridgestone. Podium Motorsports, Worldwide Bearings, Retrodyne Pipes, Vintage Performance LLC, Hinson Clutch Components, Spears Racing, Tony Dukas, Ed Tooney, Moto Tassinari, Vintage Moto, local shop here in the Raleigh area that will work on anything. Great people. Cycle Gear, Wingspire, Keg Hunter Racing, The Bike Guy, and of course, my amazing wife, Eileen.
I love it. I don't know. There we go. I was going to say my camera's not so smart right now, is it? Listen, yeah, it's I cannot wait to see you and Eileen at VR. I can't wait to see everybody there. If you guys are coming, please make sure you stop by, say hello. I'll be making my rounds in the pits, hanging out with Mark, eating burgers, and yeah,
burgers and hot dogs.
Burgers and dogs, baby. Let's go. Free hugs too. So we give out free hugs. Everybody stop by, give a free hug. I will be bringing. I got a bunch of stickers, so I'll be bringing some more stickers to VR, handing them out to everybody. I'm not sure if Rossi's coming with me or not. I'm gonna try.
We need Rossi.
Yeah, I know. We
need Rossi.
People need Rossi to come for sure. So yeah, I'll see if he wants to come. He might not. I don't know.
Yeah,
see. So, but anyway, Mark, listen, this has been a lot of fun. Please give everybody hugs for me. I'll shoot you a text, man. You'll sit back down and do another one. It'll probably, to be honest with you, it's going to be at the beginning of the year.
Whenever you need me, I'm happy to jump in.
Listen, you're always welcome. You will absolutely be coming back on this podcast many, many times. Matter of fact, I think me and you need to sit down and do a live one at VR in 2 weeks.
I'd be down for that.
I bring my phone. Yeah, we can pull it up on the phone. We can walk around the track, introduce people, say hi, all that good stuff. Yeah, we'll do it. Absolutely.
It'll be fun.
Tom Keith says, love to Free Hugs Racing Team. Listen, I love Free Hugs Racing Team. They actually sent me a hooded sweatshirt, and I didn't realize the name on the back, bro. And I put it on. My wife said, "What's up, Simcoe?" Right? And I was like, "Why do you keep saying it?" She's like, "Your name's on the back of that sweater." I said, "Shut up." I didn't even realize I took it off. Look, look at the kitty.
Hello.
Hey. Charlie's right here. Pass. So yeah.
Oh, look, she's trying to control me. She's like, "I got your arm. I'll put you in a full Nelson, half Nelson." Right, I'm done.
I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
I'm an 8th grader. I love it. That's going to be the name of this episode. I'm an 8th grader.
I'm an 8th grader. I like it.
Let's go.
I approve of this message.
I approve of this message. I'm an 8th grader.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure, man. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
The honor's absolutely all mine, buddy. I cannot wait to give my hugs back to you and Ellen, and hand out a bunch of stickers. We're going to have a proper mega weekend. I hope to see everybody there. And yeah, on that note, good night, world.
Peace out.
I'll give you a call, Mark.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. See you, bro.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.